Good morning. Great to be with you as always. Would you like to hear a good story? Okay, just making sure, So who here knows of Archbishop Fulton Sheen? Oh, many people. Good, very good. Okay, so he was born in 1895. He died in 1979. In the 50s and 60s, he had his own TV show. He won an Emmy for the TV show. He was very, very famous, very popular. He wrote about 68 books, depending on who you ask and how you count. I'm a big fan of his. So one of his famous stories is back when he was a young priest, he was teaching at the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. He taught there, I think, for 25 years. During the summer, between classes, he would go every year to London, to England, and he would stay at a church in Soho, right in like Soho Square. I forget the name of the church. I've been there, but I don't remember the name of the church. And one morning, he gets up. He's like the first one in the church to unlock it, and there's a young lady passed out drunk in the doorway of the church. So he wakes her up, talks to her a little bit, and he's looking at her and looking at this poster and like, is that you? Yeah, that's me. So it was a poster for a play. She was an actress. And they got talking, and Fulton Sheen made her some tea and said, hey, when you sober up, I'd love to meet with you. Can you come back? And she's like, I'll come back so long as you don't ask me to go to confession. And he says, I won't ask you to go to confession. Do you promise? I promise I won't ask you to go to confession. So she came back. I forget if it was later that day or maybe the next day. And she came back to the church, and Fulton Sheen said, hey, there's some paintings in the church I would love to show you. Oh, sure. So they go walking down the side aisle of the church, and when they get in front of the confessional, Fulton Sheen pushed her in and heard her confession. Never asked her to go, kept his promise. And then a couple years later, she actually entered the convent, became a nun, and Fulton Sheen said that in Mass and gave her her veil. So that's a pretty good story, eh? So on Friday, we had Holy Smokes out here with Father Sal. I think we had close to 200 people. It was like maxed out. It was really cool, a lot of fun. And toward the beginning, someone asked me, hey, can I go look in the church? And say, I don't want to unlock the church and have 200 people go tramping in with their cigars. So I just kind of ignored the question, and he went away. And then that was like 6 p.m. when I just got there. And then 9 p.m. we have the drawings, things start wrapping up. He comes back to me, hey, can I please look in the church? I'd love to see the church. It's like, well, things are winding down. I don't want all these people like following us in. So I'm like, how do I like get them in there but not have people follow us? I'm like, oh, I have an idea. So I put on my stage voice and I said, what's that? You want to go to confession? Sure, follow me. And when he heard me say that, he said, Father, I haven't been to confession in 40 years. I said, 40 years? Huh, okay. So we come in, I'm showing the sanctuary, I turn on the lights, and he's kneel down, he prays, and this and that, and we walk around a little bit, and then I start walking over here. And I open up the confessional doors, turn on the lights, motion for him to go in, and he goes in. He goes to confession. So, my own little Fulton Sheen moment there. Okay, I can tell stories walking around, but I'm not like Father Cooney and Father Maxim who can just like preach walking around. I need my notes. I get all scared without them, Okay, so the readings today, not just the readings, but the prayers too, say a lot about the Father. So if you go back to the collect, which is the prayer I say right in front of the chair there, we prayed to God the Father, and it said that amid the uncertainties of this world, our hearts may be fixed on that place where true gladness is found. The uncertainties of this world. Are there any uncertainties in our world today? Is anyone suffering from anxiety? How many of our children are on anxiety medication? And then the deaths of despair, cirrhosis of the liver, drug overdoses, suicides are through the roof. Yeah, there's a ton of anxiety today, and a large part of this is related to social media. Like back when I was a kid, I got bullied. Everyone got bullied, but you go home, you can escape from getting bullied. Today, the kids get bullied 24/7 because it's on social media. But even if you take the bully factor out, what these screens do to our minds are not good, especially to the minds of children that are still being formed. They release dopamine, they get the mind all crazy. And it's just harder to wind down, to go to sleep at night. And it's a big, big source of anxiety. Okay, so that's kind of more on the natural, biological, chemical level. What about on the spiritual level? A big way to relieve anxiety on the spiritual level is to know the Father, to know God the Father and his infinite love for you. So St. John Vianney says, you love something according to what you're willing to give for it, and God gave his only begotten Son for us. His love for us is amazing. And we take comfort in that. It really helps to relieve our anxiety. So nowadays people like to say, who are you to judge? I feel like I'm being judged. I never really understood that. So first of all, to accuse someone of judging you, you have to judge that they are judging you. You see the problem there, So I always want to ask, are you judging that I'm a judger? I feel judged, But even if someone is being judged, let's say this person really is judging, condemning, hating you. Let's say that really is happening. I don't understand why people care so much. So in the end, our audience is God. God, the angels, the saints, that's it. If this person wants to think ill of me, that's up to him. He can think whatever he wants. What do I care? So back when I was in seminary, I was trying to organize something for my family, and I was dealing with this business guy. And as time went on, I thought this guy was taking advantage of me and my family. So I stepped away from him. I told him, hey, I'm not working with you anymore. Well, he absolutely flipped out. He got me on the telephone. He ripped me apart for over 20 minutes. He threatened me, threatened my vocation. So after the phone call, I was not feeling too good about myself, And I also knew this guy had connections in the archdiocese, and he actually did go on the attack. Luckily for me, a priest stepped up, defended me. So my head was spinning. My future at the seminary was threatened. It was not a good time. That night, I told one of my buddies, and he knew I was hurting. So he sent me an email. It's just a short little email, and it just said, hey, you have a Father in heaven who loves you. Take solace in him. You have a Father in heaven who loves you. Take solace in him. And that meant the world to me. It immensely helped me to pull through. It's no matter what happens, I have a Father in heaven who loves me. There's no need to be anxious. God the Father loves me, cares about me individually, not just everyone, but me individually. Life could fall apart. This guy could have done some real damage to me and to my vocation. But even if all that happened, I have a Father in heaven who loves me. And this is actually the Christian understanding of hope. So we're in the Jubilee year of hope right now. And most people understand hope kind of in a secular way, like wish. I hope to get this new job. I hope the Lions win the Super Bowl. And of course, that never works, But that's a worldly understanding. The Christian understanding of hope is God gives us the desire and the grace to get to heaven. Now, it doesn't say God gives you the grace that everything will be easy, there'll be no crosses. He says the opposite. Follow me, and you will have to pick up your cross and follow me, But no matter what happens, no matter how hard life is, if everything falls apart, we still have a Father in heaven who loves us, who gives us the desire and the grace to get to heaven. Okay, so all that sounds lovely, nice loving Father, but there is another side to a loving Father. And we see that in the second reading, today's letter to the Hebrews. It tells us, my son, do not disdain the discipline of the Lord or lose heart when reproved by him. For whom the Lord loves, he disciplines. He scourges, that's a tough word, he scourges every son he acknowledges. So Pope Francis was actually known for being tough on his priests. And to defend himself, he would point to this passage and say, hey, that's because I love my priests. Yeah, and sometimes it's tough love. So when I was a kid, my parents, they were on the strict side compared to most parents, but I knew they loved me. And it's interesting when you work with children who grew up with no rules, how they'll talk about it and kind of the progression as they talk. They'll say like, hey, my parents, they don't care if I do this, they don't care if I do that, they don't care what I watch, they don't care when I come home. And it just kind of goes, yeah, and they just don't care. They don't even care about me. A good father cares. He cares enough about his children to discipline them. Now, hopefully, it's out of love, not out of anger. A lot of us have to work on that. But he cares enough to discipline them. But why? Why is it so important to discipline? What is the point of disciplining? And this leads us to the gospel. So, just like last week, we have another intense gospel. It follows on the heels of last week. And Jesus tells us, strive to enter through the narrow gate. For many, I tell you, will attempt to enter, but will not be strong enough. Brothers and sisters, hell is real. Like, we have a loving Father who gives us the grace to get to heaven. That's hope. But we are free to reject it. The gate to heaven is narrow. Many will try to enter, but will not be strong enough. We have to exercise. We have to exercise those spiritual muscles. We have to be men and women of prayer. So in the gospel, Jesus then goes on to describe a scene that kind of like captures all of this. He says, after the master of the house has arisen and locked the door, then will you stand outside knocking and saying, Lord, open the door for us. He will say to you in reply, I do not know where you are from. And you will say, we ate and drank in your company. You taught in our streets. Then he will say to you, I do not know where you are from. Depart from me, all you evildoers. And there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. So I find Jesus' answer to be really interesting. I do not know where you are from. It just got me thinking. So I have a priest buddy who likes to describe our rescue like getting new passports. So when Adam and Eve fell, they sold the human race into slavery with the devil. So at that time, the devil, in a sense, gave us passports. And those passports said, the kingdom of darkness, the kingdom of death, you belong to the devil. Jesus, he comes, he dies in our place, he rescues us, and in his rescue, he gives us new passports. The kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God, the kingdom of life, you belong to God. Now, there are people who will just refuse those passports, would rather not be with God for eternity. And then there are people who will receive the new passport, even gratefully, joyfully, graciously, but will foul it up so badly that it can't be read. And God will say, hey, I can't make this out. I do not know where you are from. And this is the whole reason for discipline, to keep us on the straight and narrow. If we have been baptized, we have received new passports. We already have the passports. Now, we have to keep them clean, keep them readable. We don't want to make God squint on Judgment Day. We want it to be the most obvious thing in the world. We want God to say, oh yes, this one belongs to me. Enter into your Father's house. So to conclude, something to pray about, something to ask ourselves, what do our passports look like? What kind of shape are they in? If you do the math, a whole lot of people come to communion to take Jesus. By comparison, not a whole lot of people come to confession to give Jesus their sins. One good confession can get those passports in great shape. Parents, do you discipline your children? Are they disciplined in the faith? Do they know their prayers? Pope Francis always used to say that one of the saddest things is when you meet a child who doesn't know the sign of the cross, because we start all our prayers like that. They don't know the sign of the cross. It's like they never talked to their father. So tomorrow morning, Monday, we celebrate the feast day of St. Louis IX, King of France, and he's the patron of our sister parish right across the river. And his mother was also a saint. And his mother told him once, I would rather see you dead at my feet than ever commit a mortal sin. That's a mother speaking to her son. I would rather see you dead at my feet than ever commit a mortal sin. Or in the language of today's homily, she was saying, I would rather see you dead with your passport to heaven in your hand than alive but having lost your passport. We have a good and loving Father. If we are not yet baptized, he would love for us to be baptized and get those new passports. When we fall, he wants us to come to confession, get those passports cleaned up. And when we are in the state of grace, he wants us to come to communion often and worthily receive our Lord. Good communions make those passports shine so that it is obvious where we are from. God love you.